What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, here on a 40-degree Texas day. It was 91 yesterday. Ugh. But anyways, continuing and kind of finishing for now my deep dive into Ween's live catalog. This is their 7th live release, GodWeenSatan Live. That's what it is. It is their debut album performed live in its entirety, not by Gene, Dean, and a DAT machine, but by the full band. So one of the definite pluses of this is you get to hear this early brown, indulgent, weird, crazy studio album turn into a live tour de force, a band that knows how to play this stuff. Diener's more confident in his guitar skills. Gene's having a great time. The band sounds fantastic. Just a really good run through of GodWeenSatan. There's some drawbacks. I think the immediate drawback for this album is the fact that it's live and we get breaks between the songs. We're not pulling a Zappa where it's like, you fucked up is done. We're immediately into Tick. We're immediately I'm in the mood. We're immediately into I Got's a Weasel. It loses a little bit of that momentum, especially early on, that I think the album has. For me, when listening to the album, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 punch of the first 8 songs is kind of just like getting hit over the head over and over again with just pure high energy awesomeness. It all adds up to like less than 15 minutes. And it's really not until we get to Don't Laugh, I Love You, which is the breeziest, poppiest, most accessible thing so far, but buried underneath all this like weird noise like vocal tweaking and random noise at the end, and sort of when they find pureness, they tweak it as much as possible. I find that especially that initial 8-run sequence loses a little bit live. But then once we kind of get past Don't Laugh and we don't have the laughing at the end and we kind of settle into the rest of the show, I do think that continuity break doesn't hurt it. And instead, what makes the live version, I don't know, stronger, but makes up for that lack of immediacy, is the fact that it's the same band, the same instrumentation, the same sounds. We do have a DAT machine or a drum machine or some kind of pre-recorded electronics later on in the set when we get to Blackjack. But for the most part, we have this live band performing this stuff, and that gives a little bit muscle. Dean gets to shred just a little bit heavier, a little bit harder. You realize what a ridiculously fantastic touring band Ween has and has had for decades. What else? Oh, the highlight. So that would be the con, would be the fact that it is live and you lose the brownness. You definitely lose the brownness. But in losing the brownness, you gain clarity. Particularly in 2 of what I think are the most perfectly written pop songs ever, which on the studio album are just not destroyed, but just kind of tweaked with like messing with the vocals or adding stuff at the end or just completely covering the vocals in noise. And that would be Don't Laugh, I Love You, which is just pure pop live goodness here. And the absolutely amazing Birthday Boy, which comes towards the end of the album, which is just covered in like fuzz and noise, and that melody is just buried so deep on the album that you really don't know how gorgeous the song is until you hear a live version. We got a live version of Birthday Boy without any noise. Fantastic. We also have a number of songs which were only played a handful of times. We get performances of those. Old Man Thunder, down to Old Man Thunder, down to little Bruce Seeger, Bob Springsteen, 30 seconds of fun. Blackjack, I think this is only one of the handful of, I think it's only maybe been performed twice, early on, like in 91 or 92. And then here, it's as silly as it is and indulgent as it is on the album. In this version, every other song, except for one, we'll get to that in a second, is pretty kind of gets a lot of play, but the one that was never ever played before has never been played again. Not only do they play it here because they have to because it's on the album, but it is good. It is one of the highlights of the show. It is NICOLE. Full on, full band, Ween reggae fest. It's NICOLE played beautifully. Jammy, great closing solos. The guitarist sounds great. The keyboard sounds great. It is noisy. It is loose. It is jammy. It should be the centerpiece of way more Ween shows than just this one. This is the only time they've ever played it live. I would argue, if you're a Ween fan, this release is worth it just for that NICOLE. NICOLE is one of the songs that just anchors down. Like, everything is like under 3 minutes for the most part. There's, over the totality of the album, which is like, how many tracks? 26 tracks. One song is 306. We got a 308. We got NICOLE at 8. A couple 301s, 302s, 304, a 3. So you have all these 3-minute and under songs. And then you have 3 sort of really lengthy, jammed out pieces, which kind of anchor it. And they're kind of spread out throughout the album. Closing out the first third, we have NICOLE. Goes right into Common Bitch afterwards, gets us right back rocking in brown. And that goes into El Camino. Great sequence. We get a LMLYP, Let Me Lick Your, a little Prince Shockadelica action. That's at 10 minutes plus. And that's your straight on funk jam. The guitar playing is sick. The funk energy is sick. Diener is absolutely in shred mode. 10 minutes, not enough. I've seen a 35-minute version of this, but what we get here is incredible. It comes like right in the middle of the second third of the album. And then the penultimate song is Marble Tulip Juicy Tree, which is another one where they kind of get to stretch out a little bit, have a little more fun, be a little more indulgent. Everything else is pretty much as it would be on the album. Couple differences, one of which I think is good, the other one no. Like I mentioned earlier, Don't Laugh, I Love You. It's just the song. They don't have the weird laughing, tweaky, crazy noises at the end. That's just been cut. So at the end of Wayne's Pet Youngin', that laughing that's at the end of that, I think it's Diener that's just going, oh, doing this really obnoxious, like, laughing before we head into NICOLE. And that's kind of the segue into NICOLE. Works well for the segue. Not sure we need it. But the other one that is kind of a big miss is Up on the Hill is just the full band part. We don't get that ba-wah-ba-wah-ba, that sort of a cappella barbershop, that part that introduces it. We don't get that funky intro for Up on the Hill. We just get like the hard rock part. Other than that, everything is just played as you would expect it, just sharper, tighter, live, more energy. What other notes? El Camino, one of the highlights for me, just Diener's guitar just sounds so trippy and psyche in that. We do get really brown. I will say the sequencing of the original album kind of feels like the sequencing of a show. You have the like 8 or 9, 10 first songs would just hit you over the head. Then we kind of slow things down with the NICOLE. Things are getting a little bit weirder, a little bit browner, get an El Camino thrown in there. Then we get the absolutely awesome run of Licking the Palm for Guava, Mushroom Festival in Hell, LMLYP, great little end of the 2/3 run. Then we have a bunch of more songs, some what feel like deep cuts at this point. Baba Zid, Old Man Thunder, and Beautiful Birthday Boy, Blackjack. And then we close out with like a Squelch, a Marble Tulip, and then we get a Puffy Cloud to close things out. What else? Yeah, we're missing that part. We pull out the acoustic for Old Man Thunder and Birthday Boy, which is beautiful. Blackjack is with all those pre-recorded beats. Maple seems really fast. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you want to be. But the end, when they finally get to the very end and they do the like strumming finale, it goes for a long time. It goes for an indulgently long time. It's just like the opening of, what's their second album? The Pod. It's kind of like that. It's just like a strap on your jammy pack type ending that just goes on and on and on and on and on and on as Ween is wont to do. But yeah, that's it. Like this album and whether you like it 100% hinges on whether you like the album. And actually, I'm going to take that back. If you're a Ween fan, but the debut album is not one of your favorite because of sort of the production choices, because of the length, it's a long album, because of the sort of brownness of it all. A lot of that is cleaned up in the live version just because it is the same band playing all these songs. And I think maybe it is a little more palatable. I don't think it's as genius. I don't think it's quite the spark of absolute mad inspiration that the debut album is. But then again, this is the 25th anniversary of it. actually the 11th anniversary, but they advertised the show as the 25th anniversary. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this. This will mean something to all of us United Statesers in watching this. The show was on September 14th, 2001, a mere 3 days after, well, calendar-wise, 9/11, a significant event here in this country. The country pretty much shut down for a week. We had tickets for something that week that was canceled here in Austin, or up in Austin. But the fact that they went on with this show to be here on the 14th, 3 days after 9/11, to have this celebration, to have this indulgence, to have this would have just been, it would have been an incredible experience. I wish I was there. But it was played in New Jersey, I think in New Hope, their hometown. Yeah, it's a great listen. And I do think, I'll amend that. If you're not a fan of the album, but you're generally a fan of Ween, you just don't like the brownness of it, I would check it out, because it's 10 years, 11 years later. We don't have those production things. Really only one song, Blackjack, leans into that. And for NICOLE only, that is a reggae jam for the ages. It is spectacular. I love it. Where would I rank this among all the other Ween albums I've already done? It goes at number 6. I have it above Live in Chicago, which is a fantastic release. And I have it below Live in Toronto, which is a fantastic release. But I think I'd take the country of Toronto, and particularly that Fluffy, over a cover album, which essentially this is. I'm not a big fan of cover albums. It is a good cover album. But I'm going to put it at number 6. And again, all of these are fantastic. Like, these I think are perfect. Live at Stubbs to me is just, 2000, a year before this one, peak form. The band sounds great. We get a little bit of everything. Painting the Town Brown is the brownest of them all. All Request Live, second brownest of them all. Live at Cat's Cradle, also equally brown. A lot of the same songs, but with the DAT Machine, just the two of them. Live in Toronto, then this, then Live in Chicago, which is also fantastic. But that's how I would rank these live albums. That's it. I'm done with Ween for now, unfortunately, unless they release another album of some sort, any sort. I'm going to jump over to Blue Oyster Cult live albums, because they release way too many of those, and there's a bunch of them I haven't yet listened to, and I've seen Blue Oyster Cult, 3 bands I've seen live way too many times, The Dead, Fish, and Blue Oyster Cult, so I got to check out some of these live albums and see if they're any good. And I'm excited to do so. But anyways, I'm rambling. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, thoughts on all this, and peace. Talk to you later.